All right, so advanced path medium. Now, this is an interesting pathway. This is very, very filled to the brim with roleplay. Okay? This is a awesome pathway, and I think I've personally seen a couple mediums. It's not very common, which is unfortunate because this is a super cool pathway uh, with lots of roleplay, and I feel required to read the paragraph here this time because it'll give you a good an idea of what mediums do. As life and death resembles light and dark, so mediums do tread the liminal space between. They are a conduit between the honorable rest of the dead and the comfort and grief of the living. The medium must listen, above all, to bring resolution to those on either side of the mortal veil. They see those who are lost. A spirit that would be a formless presence they identify and give name. They give a voice to those permanently past and ferry the questions and answers of those who would remain on plane. Everything has a cost. Words are carefully measured, and promises made with the exactness of a chemist's scales. Those who would follow this path will find that duplicity is a tantamount to downfall. Metaconjuring. We're gonna look at metacon. I looked up metaconjuring before this, and I totally forgot to see what the prerequisites were for that. Metaconjuring. 10 build. Prerequisites is that you're an avatar user. Okay, so this is an avatar path. Medium. Whew. Okay, so mediums get to speak with spirits. They get to interact with the ethereal plane, and I would say a lot of this is roleplay, which is super neat. And just how like Bard has a skill that lets them find out information, or same thing with Filtered. The value of these skills doesn't really fit in a whole lot directly to I'm spending X amount to get X to get Y result, and that's good because the ratio is good. There is way more roleplay and interaction that determines the value of any of these given skills. So I'm really with medium, you kind of throw value out of the book. Like if you're playing medium, you're playing and not in a bad way, not in a bad way. You're if you're playing medium, you are doing lots of roleplay and you're doing lots of cool roleplay. It is also just like Mistwalking. It's very heavily dependent on plot marshals being around and willing to interact with you, right? So this is a every once in a while because you're pull again when you have to have plot marshals be doing your skills, you are pulling resources away from the rest of the game. Okay, so it's not a thing that happens all the time. It's maybe something you do in downtime, or it's maybe something that you do uh, like in when you've talked with a marshal before game and you're like, hey, I'm gonna try and do this the next game, uh, just to give them like a heads up. Like you want to be communicating with the people that you want to have prevalent and when you need to use this skill, or when you want to use your skills. And it's very much like a communication is key here. Okay, communication with plot marshals is important, and you really some of the stuff you really just can't do without them. So understand that when you're playing a medium. And mediums are super cool. They have lots of roleplay. And we're gonna jump straight into the first skill, Dead Sight. Mediums can see spirits of the ethereal plane. So when your buddy goes to resurrect, there's a difference between being aware of a spirit and seeing a spirit. When your buddy goes to resurrect and he enters a circle, most people in that circle are become aware that there is a spirit in the circle. They can't see it. They have no idea what it looks like. They can't tell you whose spirit it is, right? So the guy wearing a white headband who's trying to resurrect, they couldn't tell you in game who that person was, okay? Like they don't get to know who they're resurrecting. They just know that they're resurrecting something, which is very important because it's funny when you resurrect a bad guy. uh, Mediums can see the spirits of the ethereal plane, right? They're able to see the spirits. Spirits in the ethereal plane will appear to the medium when the spirit is inside a circle. The medium will see the area within the circle glow brighter if a spirit is within. If the medium is also inside the circle with the spirit, they can clearly see the dead individual within. They can clearly see the dead individual. This vision is acute enough to recognize specific individuals. So it's not only, oh, do I know that this is a human or do I know that this is a goblin of some kind? It is, this is XY goblin that is my buddy and I need to resurrect him, right? Like you get to, it is acute enough to recognize specific individuals, okay? Super cool skill. And again here, there's no, I'm paying X to do Y thing and that rate and like it's value, like you can't evaluate this how cool or how good this skill is. You can evaluate in coolness. This is pretty freaking cool. All right, I would play a medium. I'm just I would play all of these, dude. They're so like all of these pathways have so much thought into them. Speak with spirits 1. So 3 build at a half body ratio. Pretty standard for some of the pathways. So Avatar, Meta Conjuring, you're looking at 120, 130 build minimum, I think, ish, kinda. You're looking at a pretty low cost of entry here with just Meta Conjuring and I have Avatar. Medium can speak to permanently dead spirits. Now, Medium can speak to dead spirits, the permanently dead ones, not temporarily in the ethereal plane, not a buddy who's resurrecting, okay? I'm going to read this once because I'm pretty sure Speaks to Spirits 2 is literally like, one of these is the same paragraph, but we'll get there. Anyway, okay, can speak to permanently dead spirits. The medium is now able to communicate with the spirits of the ethereal plane. With the true name or an item of significance, sometimes referred to as a fetter, of a being, the medium may spend 1 minute and 5 avatar concentrating in a circle to attempt to establish the connection. Only those spirits which are permanently dead and are present on the ethereal plane will respond. The fetter, the item of significance to the being, must be plot approved. So you have a true name of the spirit or you have an item of significance. And your true name is debatably different than your character name. Debatably. It's very much a lore roleplay thing. Go figure it out. Which is part of the fun. To use this skill, the medium must attempt the connection in a circle with no other beings or spirits present. If the medium is interrupted, or is no longer alone in the circle prior to establishing the link, the connection will fail. So this is very much I'm putting a circle up and I'm telling everybody around me, like, please do not interrupt this. Like, this will really, I will be spending skill if you interrupt me. For nothing. Which is important to tell Nullifidians because we walk through circles and we don't care. So we could enter a circle. It's just, you don't want people, you want to inform as many people as you can that, like, hey, well, unless you're doing something sketchy. But you don't want to, you want to inform everybody around you that, like, hey, please don't interrupt me. This is very important. To begin the process, the medium must verbally acknowledge the process has begun. I don't know if you have to say those words particularly, but you have to, like, verbally say, like, hey, we're beginning the connection. Which can be totally, this is open to interpretation for the purposes of roleplay, which is cool. The acknowledgement may be calling out here. Yeah, may be calling out to the spirit by name or to the ethereal, etc. After 1 minute of concentration, so the plot marshal will determine whether or not the connection was successful. The medium is in no way aware of the reason why the connection failed. Okay, and again, this is like all plot stuff, so you're directly interacting with plot marshal here. So they could have a gazillion reasons why you couldn't connect to this particular spirit, and so, fair enough. Super cool though. Upon a successful connection, the medium may spend 5 avatar and call spirit messenger, allowing them to speak at the spirit briefly. Allowing the medium to speak at the spirit briefly, okay? The spirit may, if it chooses, respond with a simple noise indicating the message was received at the end of the message. This noise may in no way imitate words or speech. The spirit is bound to remain within the circle unless dismissed by the medium or until a full minute goes by without the medium using further powers upon it. If the medium does not actively dismiss the spirit or the duration has ended, the spirit may choose to remain. Some people say powerful spirits may linger even when dismissed, or even may not respond at all. Plot marshal approval is required prior to using this ability, so you don't get to just do it and then go like, oh, why isn't the plot marshal whatever? Because you have to tell a plot marshal. You have to have somebody representing the spirit. Okay. And note how you were not. This was not a conversation. This was you told a spirit information, and that a permanently dead spirit, so they're not quote unquote coming back to life anytime soon here. And you gave them a message, and they just get to say, "Yeah, I got the message." They don't get to give you information or say yes or no to anything. Okay. Speak with spirits 2. Medium can question permanently dead spirits. Unlike Speak with Spirits 1, the use of this ability requires the medium possesses a fetter, so you have to have an actual item. It's not just the true name. Upon a successful connection, the medium may now also use the following additional abilities on the spirit. We're going to go Compel Spirit first here. 5 Avatar. The medium may spend 5 Avatar and call Compel Spirit, which is a compulsion placed upon the spirit whereby it must answer the next use of Spirit Questioner, and the response must be truthful. Some powerful spirits may not even respond at all. Just how adventurers have powerful spirits compared to your average Farmer Joe, which is why a adventurer like yourself has 10 vitalities to start out with, and a Farmer Joe has their 1 vitality, right? There are more powerful spirits than adventurers. So certain adventurers or certain legendary spirits might just be like so badass that they can just be like, no, even in death, I don't have to do what you tell me to, which is sick. That's so cool. You're getting to interact with the ethereal plane. Okay, that doesn't happen a whole lot at all, like at all. It's exclusively a medium thing as far as I'm aware, which is sick. uh I would totally play a medium, dude. Like, this is such a cool skill. Spirit Questioner. So this compels a truthful answer. The medium. So for 10 avatars, Spirit Questioner, the medium may call Spirit Questioner, ask a singular uno question of yes or no, of which the spirit will understand it. The spirit does not have to answer and may choose to lie. So if you want to, if you're friendly with this particular spirit, like if you've known them previously or something, you would have no reason for them to lie, so you could just ask them a question. But if it was like a bad guy spirit, they could just straight up lie to your face, and they don't have to, and it's exclusively a yes or no question, so they could just lie on a yes or no. If the spirit answers, the medium will understand the spirit's response. Some powerful spirits, again, may not even respond at all. So, if it's your buddy, or maybe a spirit that you've communicated with previously that you're friendly with, you don't have to be mean about it. You could just be like, hey, yes or no, what do you think? And you inherently trust their answer, right? But if you don't, and they're like maybe a big scumbag that you killed like 10 years ago and they had some important information, you can force them to tell you the truth. Bear none that the powerful spirits, certain ones can just be like not respond at all, uh, given the big bad evil guy potentially. So yeah, cool. Must use plot approval before using the ability. Okay. Yeah, that was Speak with Spirits 2. Medium into the Aether. This is neat. This is super neat. Medium takes all physical objects with them through resurrection, and it works pretty much how it sounds. For each purchase of the ability, it costs 10 build, so and I think this also means ascending. We're gonna read the whole skill and then we'll talk about it. For each purchase of this ability, all physical objects in the medium's possession will dissipate with them and follow them through the death and resurrection process or through astral travel. Okay, yeah, that was. So if you're ascending or descending, as per the astral skills like that we found in Paladin, Ascetic, and a couple other of the augments, and a couple of these pathways, I think. Uh, there's a lot of stuff that's like going up and going down, and you get to keep all of your stuff with you, which is neat. Upon crumbling, all possessions will dissipate with the medium, provided they have the ability use. If the medium has no non-bonded or spirit-linked items has in their possession upon crumbling, this ability is not used. Likewise, for travel to the astral plane, if the medium has any non-bonded or spirit-linked items in their possession, this ability will prevent them from being turned to dust. Oh yeah, that's like a neat thing. Like if you try to bring something with you to astral, I think the more I'm reading these skills, the more I'm trying to like figure it out myself. But I'm fairly certain that to ascend to the astral plane is above, like there's our plane of existence, and then there's the ethereal plane, which is somewhat combined with our plane, and then the astral plane, which is like space. If you think about it like stratospheres and stuff for your sky, so there's like the ground level, which is where we're at. Then there's like the sky level, which is like the ethereal, and then there's the astral level, which is space. Okay, you have to get to the astral level, you have to ascend through the ethereal level. In that could totally be wrong. Do not. I'm just theoretical, theoretical understanding. I'm a Nullifidian. Don't take what I'm saying as like anything important. Um, okay, but like that's my understanding currently. So when you take something with you through the ethereal, it kills you. Like it dusts you. There's definitely people who have dusted themselves by using astral skills wrong, which is why you have to be very careful when you're doing astral stuff. Except for like unnatural gate, which is like Kesserin's, which kind of makes it like easy. If the medium prevent them from being turned to dust. I personally know one person that has like in my house, in my group of friends that have literally like direct group of friends, because I would say that all of the people who LARP are my friends. But uh, in my direct group of friends, I have known somebody who like went to Astral with like their pouch on and totally forgot to take off their pouch, and they literally just dusted, like loss of vitality. Sorry, bro, that's is how the rules work, and that sucked for them. So like this is super cool for that super niche situation. But it's super cool though, and it makes sense for a medium to have this. In addition, each purchase of this ability may also protect the medium from otherwise mandatory vitality loss during a bodily trip to the ethereal. So when you aren't trying to ascend to astral and you're literally trying to go to the ethereal plane, I'm pretty sure you have to pay a vitality to get there. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. Like you have to extract something from your soul, and that's very much why when you resurrect, your vitality gets lost. You're paying a toll, probably to death. This in no way prevents vitality loss from the normal death or resurrection cycle. So you don't just you can't just like not permanently die as a medium. Okay, you still lose stuff from dying. It's just when you're doing the extra thing of going to the ethereal without having previously died to get there, you don't lose the mandatory vitality loss. Examples include, but are not limited to, leaving to talk to death. We're just going to sit on that for a second. Leaving to talk to death if he's willing to take the medium with him. Entering the ethereal via magical travel, etc. This skill can be purchased up to 3 times. I'd say like if I was just learning medium, I'd probably pick up the skill once, and then like when I finished medium and had some extra build laying around, I'd probably pick up the other 2 uses. Probably. That's how I would go about doing it, but that's just me. Medium can channel certain spirits into themselves, giving greater abilities. Channeled conjuration. Okay, this is neat. The medium may spend. So this works with the metamagic conjuring skill. Okay, and I'm pretty sure it's a 10 build skill. I looked it up before this because I screwed up with Geomancer and I totally should have looked at all the metamagic stuff beforehand. But Uh, metaconjuring is performed. It has to be performed in a circle. It takes 10 minutes to perform, and the base summoning for a spirit. So where Elementalist had summoning, which allows them to summon elementals. The spirit side of things has conjuring, which allows them to conjure spirits. So like spirits of like nature and chaos and good. So one is the sphere that has to do with sorcery, and the other is the sphere that has to do with spirit. This is the spirit sphere. Say that 5 times fast. Um, and it is a minimum summon for 10 avatar. So the minimum cost of metaconjuring is in a circle, 10 minutes, 10 avatar. I imagine that is what we are working with. I'm sure when you learn these skills that they will express that, but it was something to note because I didn't say, it just says using the following standard meta conjuring rules, but there's like 2 different ways you can do it. Like you can summon a spirit for 10 avatar, or you can summon a spirit for 25 avatar, or you can summon a spirit for blah 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 blah. Like I don't know if it's specifically these ones that you're summoning and you're paying those individual costs or something, or these are unique. But it's important to know base medium conjuring is in a circle, 10 minutes, 10 avatar. Okay. The medium may spend 5 avatar in addition to the 10 avatar cost at a minimum at the time of performing a conjuration to house a spirit temporarily within their own body. Only one spirit of any variety can be housed within the medium at a given time. To use this ability, follow the standard meta conjuring rules, so 10 minutes in a circle. Upon completion, the chosen spirit will have the following effects. These effects do not persist through resurrection and will endure until next logistics. The medium may choose to dismiss the conjuration at any time. Banishment and purge effects will remove the channeled conjuration. Okay. So in roleplay wise, you are bringing a generic spirit of nature, neutral, chaos, or astral into your own body, sort of like a larger consciousness of a spirit, a archetype of these given spheres. Because the spirit spheres is chaos, neutral, and nature, and then astral is neat. I don't know why, but astral's neat. Uh, but we'll go over each of them. So nature, white and green streaks or energy waves coming from the eyes, which is sick. Like the makeup for mediums are cool. Resist chaos times 3, hot. Spell strike grant life times 3 times, hot. All touch cast nature spells cost 1 less to cast to a minimum of 1. This means if you're touch casting grant life, not spell striking grant lives, but if you're touch casting grant lives, it costs less. Or any of your other nature spells, which is all of the healing spells, essentially, cost 1 less to cast. Sick. Neutral, you get a resist chaos and a resist nature. And then all touch cast neutral spells cost 1 less. And you get gray, white, and black energy streaks coming from your eyes, which is sick. So gray, white, and black is important. White and green, gray, white, and black. Chaos. You get to resist nature 3 times. You get to spell strike grant death 3 times. Can we hear? Amen. That is a cool effect. You get a spell strike grant death, so that's hot. All touch cast chaos spells. So if you're casting blinks on yourself, which is an amazing spell, cost 1 less, which is sweet. Black and red energy streaks coming from your eyes. Not to be so. Red is exclusively chaos. So if you see red, that means they're doing chaos. If you see orange, they're doing astral. If you see gray, white, and well, that's the whole thing. If you see gray, like distinctly different from white and black, they're doing neutral. And if you see green, they're doing nature. Okay, that makes sense. Astral. Astral strike 50 body 3 times. Sick. Not very many ways to be able to do this in the rulebook. Ascending and descending has no cost. Sick. Does not dust if ascending with non-binded items. Sick. Pretty cool. I'm sure this is a little bit more niche than these 3 generic ones. So you probably do this if you're gonna go like into the ethereal plane, I would imagine, or go specifically to the astral plane for something or traveling. etc. So probably important. But this is a 6 skill, and this is the first one we see that interacts with your character sheet in a way of like buffing your abilities, right? Like most of these pathways are about like introducing a unique skill that has relevance to combat. And so this is the first one we're seeing that's relevant to combat. Which is not a bad thing, okay? You have 4 skills here which are super flavorful, super fun, and will give you tons and tons of content and stuff to do in game, okay? And I would play a medium. Like this is super cool, okay? These are not bad skills. This is just happens to be the first one that interacts with combat, okay? And this is a pretty good one, by the way. In my estimation, this is pretty good. You're paying 15 avatar. I'm assuming you're paying 15 avatar to get these effects, which is sick. Okay, you got to put on cool makeup, which is a flex. It's super cool when you got to be like, oh, I have some special makeup for myself, and you're getting like, because like 15 avatar, a grant life is like 10 spirit. Okay, and you can use an avatar directly translates into casting spells too. So you're using you're getting so much value out of 15 avatar that like none of these are bad. Okay, no matter which one you pick, this is totally worth 15 avatar. Super sweet. And it's not like crazy busted. I would say this is very balanced. Like people would pay 15 avatar for these all the time, but they probably wouldn't pay 50 avatar for this, right? So I think it being at 15 is pretty neat. And being able to change it too is cool. You can dismiss it and pay another 15 and go put on different makeup and do it and do your conjuring and stuff again. Super cool. Channeled Conjuration 2. So we had Speak with Deads 1 and Speak with Deads 2. We have Conjuration in 1 and Conjuration 2. Same build, skill, and body. Medium may now spend 5 avatar in addition to any conjuring costs at the time of performing a conjuration to house a specialized spirit temporarily within their own body. Only one spirit can be in you at a time. When summoning specialized spirit, they make only conjure each type once or the same type 3 times per logistics. The spirit will grant the medium access to some small measure of the skills they possessed in life. To use this ability, follow the standard meta conjuring rules. Upon completion, the chosen spirit type will have the following effects. So, where you were summoning or conjuring a kind of sphere, an elemental spirit of a sphere, per se, now, and which is like a very big, generic consciousness of nature or neutral or chaos or astral, right? Okay, consciousness. This is a more specialized consciousness. This is the consciousness of an individual, I would assume, that previously left it in life, and they aren't all there together, right? They aren't. The only thing they remember, I think it goes into this later, is the only thing they remember is like their skill. They were so honed in that skill that they have that memory of it in that they're still in that archetype even when they're a dead spirit, but they aren't an individual yet. We're not yet summoning an individual spirit. We're summoning a special conjuring, a I know, yeah, you're summoning. When you're summoning a specialized spirit, not a individual spirit, okay? Which is neat. Which all of these, amazing, okay? You're paying 15 avatar to do this. You're paying 15 avatar to get 25 weapon mastery or sorcery or day free with access to all the stuff for production. Like, this is sick. And you're getting another cool makeup thing on your face. This is sweet, okay? This is sweet. And so you use it, and so then there's like a bunch of paragraphs to make sure that you're not doing broken stuff with this. Okay, these effects do not persist the resurrection. All of these are good, by the way. I'm not going to cover them, but you get 25 of a pool, and you get access to what that pool does, which is sick. These effects do not persist through resurrection and will endure until next logistics, just like the channeled conjuration one. The medium can dismiss it at any time. Banishment, purges, remove it. It is not possible to obscure the appearance change by any physical or magical means. Okay, so this makeup change, you can't obscure it even with an ability or an item or anything like that. It's very important to note. So if anybody sees this, they're going to be like, yeah, that's a medium, no matter what you're doing. Which people will. So for example, they will play a spellcaster and they're a worm, but they don't want to put on makeup, so they're going to spellcast themselves to look like a human for the whole game, and they'll pay like 50 avatar or something nuts to do that for the whole game, so they just don't have to put on makeup. Okay, like right. Uh, there are literal effects that let you like I look like a different race, but I am a given race, right? um, which are in the rulebook. I'm sure you can find them. They're in the spells. It's very much a spell that they're like extending ritually with a ritual or some other crap like that for like a whole day. Uh, but you cannot in any way get rid of these. Like, there's not a way to hide this stuff, which is neat. I don't think it really will come up too much, but like nobody's gonna be like, oh, he's a medium, better kill him. Like, that's not a thing. But yeah, okay. It is not possible to obscure the appearance change by any physical or magical means. Please note, the medium merely has access to the abilities gained from the conjurations of this type. For the purposes, like if you're a channeler, for the purposes of draining, restore, channeling, teaching, or anything else that may require the actual skill on the sheet, you are not a valid target. So you don't get 25 weapon mastery, access to slay, and then get to teach somebody slay. No. You just have temporary access through the spirit, and it's more like the spirit within you is the thing doing it. It's not you. So you don't actually have these skills on your character sheet, which means that you can't, for the purposes of character sheet usage, you don't have these. If any reason the medium possessed restrictions against these abilities, so if you're a goblinoid who went medium, you took the cannot have psionics skill, you can these restrictions continue to prevent the medium from using those powers in question. Any pool granted by the use of this ability is not gained. It is only accessible while the conjuration persists. Okay. So that was a sick skill. That's a super cool skill, right? Like, this is amazing. You're paying 15 avatar at a minimum, I think, to get 25 of a pool. So you're spending 15 build worth of pool to get 25 worth of pool and a unique effect and a cool makeup change. This is sick. This is sweet, okay? This is super cool. Now you're not getting an upper, so you're not getting like rogue, but like who cares? It's super cool. And you get to do this the same one 3 times, or each one may only conjure each type once, or the same type 3 times per logistics. So you're either being like, I'm a warrior every time I'm doing this for the game, or I'm going to a different one. So like in the morning I'll be a warrior, and then once I blow up my 25 pool, I'll be a knave. And then once I blow up my knavery on the next day, I'll be a spirit caster. Right, etc. Super cool, super unique. Okay, this is an amazing skill. This is sick. This makes me want to play a medium. Additionally, okay, we're getting onto the good stuff here. With a true name and a fetter, an item of significance, a fetter, it may be possible, at plot's discretion, to channel a specific named spirit. So an individual into yourself. Housing a specific individual is not without risks. The archetypical spirits that have achieved that can be reached through this skill, so the scion, the warrior, the knave, etc., have little personality left beyond the trait that defined them in life. Okay, they only remember their skills. They don't remember a whole lot of themselves. We're so honed in that skill that it became part of their spirit. The specific spirit, like an individual, may lend to other abilities. Okay, that's really freaking cool. Okay, this makes me want to play a medium even more. But also, even overpower the medium. So if you summon a big bad evil guy because you're trying to get big bad evil skills on your character sheet, not your character sheet, to be like to use them, uh, that guy could overpower the medium and then just act through because they're a medium. The spirit can act through you too, right? In this, which like there are downsides, there are risks to doing something that crazy. Okay, but like, aren't we all a little crazy sometimes? I totally want to play a medium. In this event, plot will decide if a physical appearance or change manifests. Some people may say more powerful spirits have been known to assume control over the medium's body or persist beyond dismissal. Oh, I can imagine the absolute shit show that could happen if a plot marshal was like really on somebody about the skill. Oh, that would be so bad. But it would also be so much fun. Um, yeah, this is a amazing skill. Okay, this is probably why you play medium. Like in terms of mechanically, this is probably why you play medium. I didn't know this skill was here, but all this roleplay, this is oodles of roleplay and some very neat skill stuff. Okay, quiet, and that's just amazing skill. This might in my theoretical top 10 like best skills in the game. This might be in there. Honestly, this might be in there. Super cool. Quiet the Restless Dead. Medium can perform ritualistic cleansing. The medium may now perform acts of ritualistic cleansing. The use of this ability requires at least 1 minute of roleplay ritualistically preparing the area/target. The medium can target a permanently dead body, a building or area, or a non-undead being to the following effects. Okay. To use this ability on a permanently dead body, the target must be in a circle and the player of the corpse must be willing. After the preparation is complete, the medium must call unnatural last respects. The spirit of the target body repossesses the carcass. The repossessed may not leave the confines of the circle. Upon expiration of the ritual, the body is forever destroyed and the spirit is freed. To my understanding, this means that if you have your buddy permanently die, you get to have an in-game last respect type of like Star Wars, like we're burning their like the spirit guy, like the spirit force of them. It's kind of visceral seeing a spirit repossess a carcass. That might be creepy. But I imagine they look like themselves. So, uh, if you're really big guy who's your friend dies, like permanently dies, you can take the body. And I know that like bodies dissipate, but when they permanently die, the body still resurrects like the body does, but the spirit's gone. So this allows the spirit to come back for those individuals to pay their last respects to the given guy, which is super cool. I imagine there's probably a lot of people crying when they use this ability. Not gonna lie. When using this ability on a building or an area, a circle is not required. After the preparation is complete, the medium must verbally acknowledge this by stating the cleansing is complete or similar. Any poltergeists Any poltergeists in the target area will dissipate immediately and cannot return for 1 hour. The medium may also target a non-undead being, so a regular person, who has been possessed or under a haunt effect. A circle is not required. After the preparation is complete, the medium must verbally acknowledge this by stating the cleansing is complete or similar. Any haunts on the target will either dissipate if the undead type of haunt, I don't know what to make of that, or instantly be pulled from the ethereal plane if the result of a haunt effect. Any other possessing entities will also be pulled out. Sometimes the entity will manifest as a result. So, uh, religious iconography and understandings are not allowed at Shiftedlands, to my understanding. But this is very much you're casting a demon out of somebody. Okay, you're very much like you can pull this last effect at least. So this one is like I'm Ghostbuster. I'm ghost busting, and I'm cleaning an area out of ghosts, which is cool. That's a lot of role play. And then this one is I'm pulling a ghost that's possessing my buddy out. I'm forcing a demon out of a possessed individual, right? Like this is a super cool. May pre-purchase up to 3 times. 10 build. Cool. Plot marshal approval is required prior to using this ability. It is the player's responsibility to confirm the target is willing prior to using this ability on a permanently dead body. So if a guy like permanently dies and we get their body back, but the dude like doesn't want it. Like he already took off all his makeup. He's been NPCing for a couple hours. Maybe he doesn't want to put on all of his makeup and his whole costuming again. Um, so he can like say no, but also he can just say no for any reason. So yeah. 6 skill, sweet. You get to cast out demons out of people. That's sick. Or spirits, I guess, is the real word, but that's super cool. Medium totem. They get a totem, just like a couple of the other. This is an avatar path. They get a totem. Again, we've seen all these totem kind of stuff, so I'm going to point you to Chronomancer where we went over what a totem is and how it works. But we're going to talk about the rituals that it gets to keep. Reform 10 radius. Oh, reform 10-foot radius? Last respects. Spirit Link focus. That's probably a good one if I had to guess. Ward of solidity. Interesting. Very interesting. Neat. This makes me want to go play a medium and figure out what those rituals do. That's super cool. And then here's the cookie. He says he's not dead yet. Mediums can talk to all spirits. Speak with spirits 1 and 2 now works on spirits which are not permanently dead. So you were directly interacting with permanently dead spirits, okay? Like they had to be permed, like they pulled their stone 10 times and they hit a black stone, theoretically. Now, you can talk with spirits which could be your buddy, right? So the spirit being questioned will remember this interaction as well as who the interaction was with upon resurrecting. So if you are like, let's say you're not an ascetic, let's say you're like a worm and you've played for like 10 years and you have 2 vitality left and you've gotten super lucky, right? You need you have an 80% chance of permanently dying here, okay? You need to be permanently like to have a guarantee resurrection effect on you somehow. Like you have to get guarantee resurrection. There's you not playing with an 80% chance there, right? Not even as a goblin. A medium is literally able to talk to you like if you died, went to go resurrect, and like before you pull the stone and like start the resurrection process, and you're in a circle, a medium can come up to you and go like, "Hey, do you need a guaranteed resurrection? Like, what's your situation here? How much vitality are you working with? Like, do I need to be doing something extra for you?" That's super good. Okay, like I don't know how else to explain that. Like that's super useful. Like having a medium in town is amazing. Okay, this is super cool. That's the cookie. And that was medium, yeah. So they get to interact with spirits, they get to see the ethereal plane and stuff like that. This is the type of skill tree that you're looking for, dude. Like this is an amazing skill tree to go down. I would love to play a medium someday. This is sick. This is sweet. Yeah. So that was medium. They talk with ghosts and stuff. Super cool. Super cool skill. Oodles and oodles of roleplay here. Next up on the list is Ranger. All right. See you there. Bye.